Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. Yes, it's finally grand to be back in front of the camera as we enter the fall season and Rocktober, and none better than with one of my favorite bands this past year. Brings me great pleasure to welcome and debut on the show the progressive melodic metalers known as Mass of AMARA. Welcome, everybody, to the show.
Thank you, man.
Oh, man. Gosh. Hope everyone is doing well. And we've been talking about tonight for quite some time, so it's great that tonight has come to fruition. We are finally here. Great to meet the newcomers. And great to see my old friend Joseph back on the show. So much to talk about, guys. So much to talk about. And I put it all on paper because we're going to dive deep. There's going to be people all around the country who will watch this interview who don't know anything about Mass of AMARA. Even though you guys have been quite the talk of town here in San Antonio. This is obviously a pivotal year for the band. So let's first talk about the formation of this band. And I know you guys are a fairly new band. I know because I've met with Ella and Preston previously that you guys are really at the heart of the formation of this group. So Preston, reiterate for us how kind of the beginnings of a band kind of came to mind and how you started it.
Yeah, so I was chilling out in my apartment one day, and I was working on a song, and Ella came over, and she was like, hey, can I put some lyrics to this song? And at the time, I was writing songs for another project that I was trying to get started with Josh.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, take the song, do what you want to do with it. And at the time, honestly, I wasn't really expecting like much. I figured she just wanted it to like have some practice because she was getting into some like metal vocals and stuff. And then
So you're like, I just want to make her happy.
yeah. So I was like,
let me make her happy.
so I was like, okay. She brought it back, and there was like some sick vocals and some sick melodies, and that was immediately where I saw the vision. And that's where I was like, okay, like if we're gonna do this, like we got to really start planning. And then like we kind of talked about like putting together the Army of Me cover, and that like kind of started our debut. And then when we put that together, I mean, it was just us two. Like there was no other members.
Yeah.
And for a while, we were just like, we either just start now and just start pushing stuff out, or we just wait and hope people join and see the vision. When it's like we could just start putting the vision together and hope that they see it as far as getting members go. So we were just like, fuck it. We basically started from the ground up, building the vision, just us two. And that's why in the Army of Me music video, it's just us two.
That's a great word that you use. I like to use that word because I think I used it downstairs because I think the most successful bands that I've seen are the ones who believe in the vision. Mm-hmm. So if you have a vision for the band, like this is who we want to be, this is the style we want to play, this is how we want to look, things like that. And if people buy into that and say, yeah, it all fits too, then it's easier to go along with the vision.
Right.
So a couple of quick questions just based upon what you said. You said like Ella came back with these tracks, with these vocals on these tracks. Mm-hmm. Like literally, did you just like, here, I'm going to email you these MP3s, and she went off and then came back, or where did you record them and stuff?
We were just recording them in my apartment, but I don't remember. Did you bring them to like with an actual track, or I don't remember how we did it, but.
No, like you just gave me time to write stuff. And then when I was like, okay, it's done. Like I hurried, because I was like, I just want to start my own thing with him now, because I know we can do something. So I just wrote something, and then he came over and I showed him. Like I was just playing the track and I was singing along and then screaming, and he was like, oh, okay, yeah, this works. And then we started like doing demos and stuff.
And had you ever done metal music before?
No, Rebirth was the first song I've ever written.
This is the song we're also talking about now is Rebirth.
Yeah. Actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I love that song. Mm-hmm. And I was actually going to message you today to like, dude, send me that MP3 and send it to me tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I do want that. I don't have an MP3 of that song, and I really, really like it a lot. I think it's really good. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the evolution, because there has been some evolution even in a short amount of time. I remember, I have to say this, what year were you talking that y'all were doing this, you and Ella?
Had to have been like late 2020, early 2021.
It was 2020.
Yeah.
2020. I remember, as I mentioned earlier, I know Joseph, and Joseph and I were texting, and he said, Rob, I'm in a new band. This was May. I looked at my text, May 2023, so about a little over a year ago. And Joseph said, Rob, I'm in a new band. I think you're going to love it. Our new EP is going to drop soon. I'll send it to you when it's ready. So it was at that time that I had first heard about Massive AMARA. And then, of course, shortly thereafter, a year later, the record. I had not heard any of the old stuff at that time. The Rebirth and the Revelation and the Bjork cover. But that was when I first came to know the band. Even so, you guys had kind of been together already like a couple years up to that point. And then talk about, obviously, you need a band to play shows.
Exactly.
So how did kind of the evolution of getting these guys into the band happen?
So the same project that me and Josh were trying to start was falling through. And Victor was also like on the tail end of like with that project. And so one day, because me, Victor, and Joseph all worked at the same place. And I won't name the place, but we all work. Dude, they don't deserve the light of day. That's why.
Oh,
but
okay. I was about to say it.
but
because I know, but
yeah,
okay.
yeah. But me, Joseph, and Victor were all working at the same place.
Yeah.
And me and Victor in one of the rehearsal rooms. And I'm like, yo, bro, like I have this project that I'm putting together. I need another guitar player. And what we got going on right now in this current project's not happening. So why don't you hear what I got going on and see if you're down? And Victor just like with no questions, just like, I'm in.
Yeah.
And so at least I had another guitar player there. And then like maybe like 3 or 4 weeks later, maybe a month, I'm in the break room and Joseph's in there and he's like, hey man, let me know if you hear of like any new project that needs a drummer. Like I'm trying to look for something new. And I was like, how convenient. I was like, check it out. I'm going to send you some shit. And we need a drummer, so let me know what you think. I was gonna have him try to record some of the songs on our EP prior, so he was kind of familiar already. But so that's where like getting them two on board really like kind of was birthed. And a little bit later on, we like got a few rehearsals under our belt. Like we're finally like building our live show rig and everything. And then Josh hit us up and he was like, "Hey, do y'all still need a bass player?" And we're like, "Yeah." But we did like 2 rehearsals with him on bass, and I was like, man, fuck this. Like, Josh is a shredder, dude. Like, we got to get him on fucking guitar. And I was like, Whitechapel's got 3 guitars, Periphery's got 3 guitars, so fuck it. So we're going to be 3 guitars.
Joseph, were you going to say something?
I was going to say, I remember you showing me like the early demo of Rebirth. Yeah. And you were like, yeah, we'd really love you to like record drums on it. And there were no vocals on it. And I remember being like, well, where are the vocals? Like, let's hear the vocals. Like, I'm down, but like, send me a track with, vocals, a great idea of what y'all are trying to do. And I just said that because I know plenty of times where, you start something and it doesn't see the light of day because someone falls short of what they need to do, and vocals are very hard to put over a song. That's usually the selling point. Sure. And I remember that taking place. And then eventually you showed me a track with vocals. I was like, yeah, this is great.
This is going to do it. You alluded to the fact that you knew Josh through Falling Through. So how did you initially meet him?
Oh, I met him probably in 2020. One of my friends hit me up and was like, hey, I'm trying to put together like a Slipknot tribute band. And at the time I was doing nothing musical. So I was like, all right, fuck it. Like that'll keep me busy. And we did one rehearsal and that's where I met everybody. Like
Josh, you were doing Slipknot?
Josh was in there. And the second he started playing and we were like kind of jamming, I was like, this motherfucker's going to be in my band one day. Like just one day. Like it's just, I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, but after that rehearsal, I was like, I got to keep this guy in my friend circle in one way.
Sure.
And before I started getting into my own recording and like production stuff, I hit him up and I was like, hey, do you record? Because he was mentioning that he was doing like some recording stuff. So I was like, I'll come over to your place and record some stuff. And then that's kind of like where we took off initially. So
yeah. Yeah, that's good. I mean, you always, I always talk to bands about, having good chemistry. You have to have good chemistry as people too, to create good music. And if you, knew this dude and you're like, man, I got good vibes with him. We kind of jive the same way. We like the same things. We're both technical, then, obviously there's going to be chemistry there.
Right.
Chemistry results in good music. So that's cool, man. That's cool. Well, now you guys are all here. I think this is a great lineup. And I think you made the right choice. Fuck the bass player, right? Because all of you guys play 7-string guitars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen the guitar playthrough like a few times. I really like it. And it's so cool because, I see you guys doing the playthrough and doing like your own parts. And I'm like, wow, that's so challenging. I would imagine, I'm not a musician, but I would imagine that's so challenging. You have 3 guitar players playing different parts for sometimes in a song, but that gives it so much more dimension and stuff. And I think that's what I've really come to love about this band. You alluded to the fact that there is a vision for Mass of AMARA. What was that vision?
It's definitely more like modern style of like music. As far as like mixing goes, modern style production. The drums got to be fucking slamming. Let alone like me, Victor, and Josh all pull from like proggy songs and bands like Periphery and stuff like that. So it has this like prettiness to it as well as the heaviness, and which I think complements Ella's vocals really well because she does the exact same thing with the pretty vocals and then brutal extreme vocals.
Right. So I use the description as melodic, progressive metal.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
I feel like so. I feel.
Are you comfortable with that? What do you want to call it?
Personally, I don't really know because when I'm writing songs on my own, sometimes like I'm pulling from maybe like a straight up deathcore influence, and like there is some deathcore influences throughout. But I remember we played a show once and one guy was like, so like what genre are you guys? I'm like, bro, I don't really know, to be honest, but I know that we do have prog elements for sure.
For sure.
So
and that low end down tune, or I guess when you play a 7-string, it's not even down tuned.
It's definitely
it's
down
still down tuned.
It's still down tuned.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good, man. I mean, there's some people out there who they have to categorize, their metal.
Right.
And I think that lends the melodic kind of progressive kind of lends well to it, to what you guys are doing. You said something interesting right now that resonated with me because I remember, if you guys recall, there was a record label who responded to me because I sent them your record, and they said, Rob, this is like this is like for the young, this is for like a young audience. Remember that? You remember that? It was the guy from M Theory Audio. And you kind of said that too. So, I mean, you guys are young people.
Right.
So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but the kind of modern young sound of the band is something that's pretty kind of relevant and obvious when they hear your music too. I would say. I mean, would you agree with that?
I think so. We don't really have a lot of like some of the traditional metal stuff. Like as far as right now, like we don't have any like super like thrashy sections that are like the entire song or whatever. I think naturally we kind of flow towards some of the modern, younger style of like trends and stuff, like especially with like breakdowns and the over-the-top drum production, like that is just kind of the sound of like these younger, popping off bands. I feel like,
and I think too, like one of the things I love about your band is that you guys can go in and out of heaviness. Like you guys can be like super heavy and crunchy, and then along with Ella's voice go into something kind of melodic and serene, and then go back into the heaviness. It's cool. I really like that a lot. And I don't know if you remember last time you were here when Neckerman was here, and we were having a good time, and you're like, I said, man, I can't wait for the new music. And you said, yeah, Ella wants to scream a lot. I said, no, you gotta maintain some of the melody in there. You gotta tell her to maintain the clean vocal. I think the clean vocal is just as important as the heavy vocal. Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong. When I heard like Revelations was just all heavy. Yeah. So when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, I can see the beginnings of Massive AMARA at that point, at that stage, and then how they evolved into doing both the clean and the rough vocal, which I think really lends itself a lot better to you. That's just my 2 cents, okay? We'll wait and see, and we'll talk about new music here in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think one thing, too, that you guys have done well is I like the look. When I see you guys, like, yeah, I can. These guys are a band. Like, they look cohesive, and I like the black shirts. And Ella's always got her little style going. But it doesn't matter because you guys are the band, and you guys are always like with your black shirts, and you guys have your hair and you're rocking. It looks cohesive to me. I think the visual is it's almost just as important as the music.
Absolutely.
Right? Tell me your take on that. And was that a plan? Like, did you have to tell Josh, take off the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh shirt, bro? Put on a black T-shirt.
No, I think
Josh, I love you, man. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, from the beginning, when we were building up like when we were going to start playing shows and stuff, it was just like, we should look uniform. Like, what are we going to do? Are we going to wear just clean black? We can do black button-ups. I don't remember whose idea it was, the black button-ups, but I know we did go that route. And ever since, it's just been kind of what we've been doing, and it works, clearly, because you bring it up. We never bring it up. We're never like, hey, you see how uniform we are with the black button-up? No, it just naturally, people see that, and they're like, oh, they're a band.
I think there's fans, like, they won't ever say it, but they recognize it.
Exactly.
They recognize it, they see it, and subconsciously, they're like, yeah, this is a real band. I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen a lot of bands. Mm-hmm. So I recognize it right away and can say, there's a concentrated effort to portray that image.
Right.
Yeah.
Compared to like, a lot of other bands just show up like they just are hanging out,
With dirty work boots, like I said earlier.
And sometimes that's cool, but for us, like, we just like the black button-ups.
I think it also just depends on the genre, because there's some bands where, looking how you dress every day, that's like the thing. But with this band, I just think that there is a certain effort that needs to be put into the look to really put that vision that you were talking about, that we were talking about, that vision that we want. It requires that look for us. So.
And you know what, Ella? I think that's even truer when you have a female vocalist. I just think it is. I don't know why. When you have a bunch of just grubby guys up there, okay, all right. But when you have a female vocalist, and you always kind of, make an effort to go up there and portray some kind of style. Like I saw the Alice in Wonderland look you had the other day.
Yeah.
Right?
Because of the Halloween show, so I was trying to go for that.
I was like, I like her better in black, but I don't know. Yeah, I saw that, but. The guys are all uniform, so that's good. And you, as the centerpiece, as the vocalist, it all works out. So, Ella, keep the mic, because I think this next question goes to you. Talk a little bit about the origin of the name Massive of AMARA, and what does it mean?
Well, whenever I started to learn vocals and everything, I was just kind of getting more into spirituality and just reading a lot more about different origins of how all of that even started, where beliefs came from and everything. And so
it's all the aliens.
Yeah.
The aliens gave us everything.
And so whenever we finally decided, okay, we're gonna start something, I was like, okay, I really want to have a cool band name. And a lot of my lyrics kind of, from at least from the beginning, for sure, they originate from that point of view. It's just from growth, from life, and how things go. And so when I was just kind of reading, I was just kind of piecing different words together, what sounded really cool. And I saw Mass, and then I saw the name AMARA, and I'm like, okay, that's really cool. And so I pieced them together. Yeah. And I looked up the meaning of AMARA, and it's Sanskrit. It's it means like eternal life, you know, in that area of things. So
and I think, you know, as easily as you described it, I think there's a lot of people out there who can really kind of relate to it, especially in this day and age, right? I think we're at a time in human history where people are starting to move away from traditional beliefs and religion and kind of identifying with the fact that, you know, there is a grander scale of life outside of just humanity, you know. And I think I always overthink this stuff too, you know, because I know a lot about the Sumerians in Mesopotamia and all kinds of stuff, and it's crazy, you know. And I've always kind of believed that, you know, especially now, you know, I had a conversation, to be transparent, with my mom, who's, you know, very sick, and I always tell her, I said, Mom, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. You know, this is just, you know, death is the beginning of life. You know, we go on. You know, our souls go on. You know, and that's great. And I think a lot of people kind of can relate to that.
And that's like the idea, basically, that I was trying to go for. You know, because we're meant to go through a lot of things in life, you know, to prepare us for the next thing after we die. You know, well, that's what I believe.
Let's hope you don't have to go through too many guitar players. Shit happens, right? Guys, remember, cohesive, stay strong. You guys are a family. You're only going to be successful together. Yeah. So let Josh turn his amp up a little louder if he wants. It's okay. Josh is like, you can't hear me in the fucking mix, man. It's bullshit.
I'm actually the loudest on stage.
Oh, really?
No. I don't know. I try to be even with
Talking to the mic, my friend.
I at least try to be even with the drums off the stage. The sound guy does the rest.
Yeah, I see you, man. I see you. I've seen the video over and over. I like your style, Josh, because you have like this very subtle kind of attack, and it's still very powerful. You know, I see you play your solos and stuff, and that's all good, man.
Cool.
Let's jump back a little bit, because, like I said, I first jammed through the ether, and then I kind of went back, which I do with a lot of bands. So there was a first EP, right? There was an initial EP. What was the name of that EP? Or did it have a name?
Vessel.
Vessel?
Yeah, we called it Vessel, and then the Sleep Token craze happened, and then so it was like, oh, do y'all like Sleep Token? It's like, dude, I don't.
I don't like Sleep Token either. I don't know what the big thing is about it. It is about them. I don't get it.
They got their thing, and that's cool. But like, it's just unfortunate timing that we like release an EP called Vessel, and then the front man just happens to be called Vessel, and it's just like, okay, oh well. But yeah, no, we released that. That was part of the thing where.
So
like,
how many tracks did it have? 3 tracks?
Yeah, 3.
And what songs were those?
One Life, Eyes for Perception, and Mary.
Is that still available? Can people get that? I mean,
yeah, it's on iTunes and Spotify and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. So Army of Me and Rebirth and Revelations is not on there.
They're singles, yeah.
That was post Vessels.
It was Army of Me. We dropped that first, and then to promote the EP that we released after Army, that was like the whole kind of other point of like Army of Me, was that we dropped that, and then the EP, I think like a week or two later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Army of Me and Rebirth and Revelations also we can get at iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all you people out there who want to dive back into the catalog of Mass of AMARA, there you go. The first EP is called Vessels, and then Army of Me, Rebirth and Revelations. I love Rebirth. Still send me the
Hell yeah.
the MP3. So why the Bjork cover? Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I always think it's cool that metal bands cover non-metal songs. I think that's cool.
So the easy answer is that when I heard that song, I immediately thought that this would be a sick metal song. It's got the dark melody that the synth bass is doing in the original, and then Bjork's vocals kind of following a dark melody as well. And I was like, that right there is kind of like the heart and soul of like where this could go. So when we recorded it, I was like, I want to stay as true as we can to the original, and then we put our twist in with like the little breakdown section and whatever.
A little subtle twist.
Right. And then with her voice on it, I mean, dude, it just sounded like so natural and like meant to be. And then we were like, yeah, I mean, like Marilyn Manson's got his Sweet Dreams. So if this song is our Sweet Dreams, I can live with that. Like, it's a song that I can never get tired of playing, to be honest.
Right. I took some deep this week. I've taken deep listens into all of these tracks, and I know Ether like the back of my hand now. So it's like I could hear many of the different changes in what you guys are doing, as subtle as some of them may be and as obvious as some of them are. Like I just said, like there was no clean on Revelations. So how do you kind of feel, and I don't know, fill me in, how these evolutions happen musically for the band, taking into consideration, when Victor and Josh really started coming into the fold. Were they in the fold at that point?
They didn't start to really enter the picture until post-Vessel. Everything after that is when Victor...
So when the singles, they were involved in the singles, or...
Victor got involved and Joseph with Rebirth. And so when we like tracked that one for real, that was when everything after that, it was like a collective decision moving forward with everything. So, like when we did Revelations, we released that last year as a Halloween kind of track.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And so, that was just a demo that me and Josh written years ago. And I was like, yo, what if we do something with this? Just have fun. Here's something for Halloween, because we all love Halloween. Mm-hmm. And so we were just like, yeah, just have a fun one-off heavy track. Why not? And everyone was down to do it. So it was honestly that easy.
Yeah. And so when Victor came along, how did that kind of help you, or did it make it more difficult?
No, I don't think so at all. So like,
Victor's like, it's my way, bro.
So at the time, I was living with a roommate, and Victor would come over, and me and him would work on like songs for Massive AMARA, and he brought over I think like 2 or 3. Yeah, these were I think two songs, Ripped and I almost called it Pre-Bio. That was the working title for Unspoken for like the longest time.
Sure.
But he comes over and he sends me these 2 tracks, and I'm like, yo, these are fucking sick. Wow. So I was like, come over. We're going to like move them into my session, like my Cubase session, and we'll just kind of like bring them to life and then see what we can do with them afterwards. And I'll let Victor talk a little bit more about those.
Yeah, I think, those 2 in particular were kind of just sitting in like my own demos folder for a while. And it just kind of fit really well. You record on your computer, and then you just kind of save the tracks. Yeah, I can make like a crappy demo like at home. I can get all the guitars, program the drums.
Yeah.
I can get it like 60% there. And then I send it to these guys, and
let the mastermind kind of put it all together. Yeah. That's how it usually works, man. But that's when just the way that you just described it to me reminds me of like how Kirk Hammett has all these riffs, and then he sends them to James Hetfield, and James and Lars put them all together into a song. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing too, bro. Like when you have a good band, like everybody knows their role and their place, this is what I do. And, let me, give it to Preston and let him kind of shape my riffs into what he has into a song, instead of saying like, here's a whole new song. Let's just put it on the record. This is my song. Let's just put it on the record. I've seen bands do that, and then it kind of just changes a whole lot with the quality of the music. But that's good, man. As long as keep your egos in check. Everybody's happy. Everybody, like I said, everybody has to know their role, and because I think like Ether really, when you hear the old stuff, is a whole step above. When I listen to it, it's like, oh, this record's just a whole step above than what they were doing before. And we're going to talk about in a little while about, how evident that's been with all the success you guys have had in 2024. So before we get into Ether, we're almost there. That's why we're all here, everybody. Let's talk about the writing process really quick. And I guess I just kind of discussed that a little bit, but still, at this point now that you have a full band, and I've heard already some of the new stuff that you shared with me last time. Like, I don't know if that was just all Preston riffs or if that was incorporated riffs from everybody, or like, what's the writing process evolved into now as we look forward into Beyond Ether?
So right now we're trying something new, actually, because usually, like with, like Victor was saying, like he had the 2 songs, Unspoken and Ripped. They were basically like halfway done. So he would send me those, and I'm like, okay, I can see and like hear where this is going, and that's why I invited him over. I was like, we'll work out the stems and just kind of see what we can do like in person. Where like now, where we would like all meet up at Josh's and we would try to like stick some shit together. I mean, we could be there for hours and we would write something and we're like, man, what the fuck is going on? Like. It's weird, but me and Josh were kind of noticing.
Like, dude, stop drinking that Red Bull already. We're going in circles.
Me and Josh kind of recognized like we kind of like do a lot better and more when we're all like kind of by ourselves. So like right now we're trying where like we throw all of our ideas into like a Google Drive.
You said and Josh.
Mm-hmm. And we just kind of take what everybody kind of like puts in the Google Drive, and then we just fuck with it on our own, and then trying to like blend it that way. Do
you ever have to call Victor and say, dude, how do you play that riff? I don't know how to. Or you just listen to it and you can play it?
Most of the time, yeah. Like we can listen to each other's riffs and figure it out, luckily. I think
because all of you guys play 7-string guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think also like Victor as a safety net will actually like tab out what he's writing in the moment.
You know how to tab, Victor? Wow, dude, that's cool. Not all musicians know how to do that, and that just is a reflection on you, bro. So kudos, that's badass.
But sometimes I'll just sit at home and I'm just like I'm feeling like writing, and most of the time I can literally flesh out a song from start to finish, and then I just give it to these guys and see if they have any opinions or like
hey, they add the depth to it.
Right. Yeah.
Right. They can add other chords into it. Yeah.
A solo or whatever. And like,
and so if they, let's say Josh does that, does he send you the track back with his added depth?
Yeah.
in it?
Or he'll just send me like the solo stems and I can just put it in the same writing session and then go from there.
Do you always feel compelled to say that you like it?
Sometimes, but
do you ever tell him like, Josh, this isn't working, bro?
Sometimes, but
because you're the chief, right? You decide, right?
I mean, no, I don't want to be.
I know,
but because Josh and Victor obviously have great ideas.
Sure.
It's just like there's times where like we'll like be forcing a part and it's not working, and then Josh will be like, okay, this isn't working, and in my mind I'm like, okay, thank God.
Exactly.
But I trust them. I tell them all the time, like if I'm doing something wrong or if y'all feel strongly about something, dude, just let me know. And like I would hope that the same goes, for them. Like, hey, if something's not working, I'll let you guys know.
And you should be able to. You should be able to have that kind of transparency and candidness with your team.
Yeah, I trust these guys so much.
Yeah, so just to pick up kind of where Preston left off, in the old project that we mentioned earlier, we called it
Falling Through.
Yeah, exactly. We called it the Whataburger break.
Oh,
so
man.
we would spend all night trying to put some riffs together, get a song going. Couple hours in, we'd be like, we're fucking hungry. So we go get some food, we come back, munch, and we hit play on the song, and we're just like, what the actual like what did we
like
just,
you didn't like it?
No, it was trash. Straight up, it was garbage. And
your hunger made you just accept it.
Exactly.
You just want to get through the process,
right? So recently, the past couple months, we've all tried, like he mentioned, we would get together at my place and try to hash something out. And
so you have recording stuff at your place too?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool.
I got it set up. So we try to hash something out. We'd be there for a couple hours, and then we'd be like, yeah, this isn't really usable. So that's why we're kind of like, we can kind of brainstorm and get ideas together really good on our own. Like Victor will write something, I'll write something, Preston will write something, and they're pretty solid ideas. And then we'll add it in the cloud drive or whatever.
Right.
We all listen to it and be like, oh, that's fucking great. Like, I hear this happening. We're gonna start getting demo vocals on it. Joseph's gonna write the drum parts, and that's kind of like where we're at right now in the songwriting process.
Is that when it gets to Ella? Is that when Ella finally starts singing it?
Right. So right now we have.
And Ella never says like, "This is trash."
She hasn't said that.
Like, how do you expect me to sing on this?
Right. But yeah, that's where we're at right now as far as going forward. We're just now starting demos. So we got
for Post Ether.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're in the very early process of getting demos together. We have some stuff scratched out, couple songs. We got one song that's like kind of got vocals and melodies and stuff. But I think moving forward, we're trying to utilize time, right? Because if we're all together in the same room, we're riffing and it's trash, and it's kind of a waste of time. So we're trying to get as much done as we can, respect everyone's time, and make the best of it. Yeah.
Even the trash stuff, like they say, "Oh, this is trash." You don't delete it, do you?
It's in the
put it in the trash folder.
It really depends.
Like you don't just say like delete, right?
There'll be times like I'll be home and I'll spend an hour or two trying to piece something together, and I don't even save it. I'm like, this is not usable. But yeah, I do have an archive of projects. Yeah.
You have a fucking server in your room.
Yeah. Oh, almost.
You have so much shit, right? I would if I was a musician. Yeah, you never know, bro. You never know. And you know, I'm not a musician, but I know how you guys are, man. I know you guys are always riffing and writing, and you should be recording, even if you're just jamming by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you never know.
Yeah, I think something probably a lot of musicians can relate to is like, like I can start a song and finish writing it myself, but like I'll never be satisfied with it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know,
that's a good point, Victor.
But like with our process, we're bouncing off of each other. Like sometimes, I'll think an idea or something is just like whatever, right? And then Ella throws down a vocal line, or someone's just like, hey, let's change up like the kick pattern there, and that'll suddenly just make something click.
That's a great point, bro, because as artists, sometimes you're just like never satisfied, right? And I know musicians. I won't say his name. Very famous musician in San Antonio, who he's so meticulous, and he's such a perfectionist that he's told me, Rob, I got new music coming out this fall, and it's like the next summer and it hasn't come out yet, because he just can't let it out, because he doesn't feel it's good enough to his standards. And it's little nuances, that an average metal listener is not going to really even know about. And the other day, I was talking to some dude. He's like, Rob, yeah, did you see our show last night? I'm like, yeah, I was there. He's like, yeah, this didn't work out. Our fucking preamp didn't turn on or some shit. And I'm like, dude, nobody knew. Nobody knew and nobody cared. It was a good show. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that, because it's just we're all our own worst critic.
Yeah.
And so I can spend days on one song and just be inside my own head, and then I give it to them, and they're like, "Why don't you try this?" And I'm like, "There it is.
There it is.
It's that easy."
There it is. And that's what makes this band so good, man. You guys are jiving on that level. All right, everybody. Let's get to why we're really here and talk about the band's record called Through the Ether. Everyone go ahead and take a look at the cover work. It dropped this summer in June 2024, right? Mm-hmm. June? Yeah, Through the Ether, 5-song EP, 4 songs and the interlude. Great record. You'll possibly be hearing more about this record later this year as I talk about my top 10, maybe. Maybe. No, guys, I'm just kidding. I love this record, and you guys know that I've been a fan of yours now since the summertime, or since May. Since I can't remember who sent me the record. Was it you, Joseph, that sent me the record? I can't remember how I got it.
I remember sending you Rebirth. I remember sending you Rebirth, but
yeah, it was Ella. Ella sent it to me, but I knew about it. And I took such a great interest in it because not only am I a fan of the record, but I wanted to kind of, really try to help promote this record. We talked about this interview many months ago, and it was because I'm a fan. It's just simply because I'm a fan, and I'm glad that we're here tonight, able to discuss it. So I have a slew of questions about this record. First of all, this record is an EP, 4-song EP, 5 with the interlude. Were there any additional songs at the time of recording of Ether, or was there ever a time when you thought we want Ether to just be all new songs, or because you could have put Rebirth, you could have reworked Rebirth and reworked Revelations and put them on this EP. I mean, what was the mentality going into that?
I remember bringing up like doing something like that, especially with some of the songs on like the first EP. But we were just like, especially with the 2 songs that me and Victor worked on, him be like his
what songs were those?
Unspoken and Ripped.
Yep.
And then me and him basically wrote Ascended from the ground up. So we had those 3, and then I had a song that's Storm on the record, and that one is a song that me and Josh worked on years prior. So it was just like, let's just keep it all new. Like, why not?
Sure.
And that's just where we went with it.
Sure. I don't know. Sometimes I know that you guys, and I mean that, talking about musicians in general, kind of get tired of shit really quick. You're like, we just want to play new shit. Mm-hmm. We're tired of playing that old song over and over again. I don't want to play Rebirth again. I'm sick of it. Let's move on to new shit. But in the public's eye,
right,
in the public's consumption, that song may not be as
diluted.
Diluted. Very good word. Very good word. And it can be a tricky thing. It can be a tricky thing. But yeah, all of these songs are great. So I keep saying that, and I think you and Josh, you've kind of alluded to the fact that you guys have your own rigs at your own places, and so you record your own stuff, right? You might have recorded the original demos in your places, but correct me if I'm wrong. Did you tell me one night that you had recorded in Austin?
Yeah.
The actual recording was done in Austin?
So we went out where I was living at the time. I was living and working at the machine shop in Austin. And so when Machine, the producer, wasn't there, and I was looking after the place, I had the studio to myself.
I know that, dude. Yeah.
And so I was like, guys, like, we have these songs that are pretty much ready to go. So
don't tell Machine, come over and we'll record
he knew
here for free.
He was totally cool.
Don't post on social media.
Nah, he knew, and he was totally cool. Like, he wanted me to do that.
He's gonna call me tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Rob, send me the video.
So we just made it like a weekend, and we invited our photographer out, and we just like drank, cooked out.
That quick? Like just knocked it out?
Mm-hmm.
And Machine didn't say, "Hey, let me hear some of your tracks. Let me help."
Oh, I showed him prior.
And did he say anything? Like, did he try to help you out or give you insights or anything?
I asked him advice on one song, and it's one of the songs that actually didn't end up making the cut because me and her listened back to it, and we were like, "This is
like Machine. I want your advice on this song, but we're not going to pay you."
But he took a listen, and he thought it was pretty damn good, and so he was just like, "Yo, man, like, just kill it,
dude. It sounds great, bro." I don't know, I'm sure it was the tech, but I'm sure he has high-end tech in that place, but Through the Ether sounds amazing. So we'll talk about, hopefully you guys can replicate that. I don't know if he's gonna let you back in his place.
Again. I don't know, honestly, but I mixed it all at home. Like, I didn't even mix it out at the studio. And surprise, surprise, a lot of the drums are samples. So they're not like the kept drum parts. They're layered with samples. So I think we can still get pretty solid results.
Did you go to school for that? How do you know how to do that?
Pretty much self-taught. And then Machine taught me a lot after working there for, I think, close to 3-ish years
Josh,
on various projects.
How do you know how to do that?
YouTube.
No, seriously.
No, yeah, you can learn a lot off the internet these days. Anything, basically.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was like, I need to start writing my own music. I'm tired of playing covers, and I bought software, bought some recording equipment, started demoing riffs.
I don't know how to use this software. Let me Google it.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
how do I do this? How do I do that?
It's crazy,
and then,
right?
And then it's a rabbit hole. It's never
It's
ending.
crazy.
So once you start, like, you just, how do I get better? How do I make it sound commercial? How do I get my guitar to do the chugga chugga? And how do I get my snares to go bomb? And how do I, yeah. So.
Can I tag on?
Yeah.
So yeah, like in the very beginning, I was like, I need to be able to like literally write my own songs, because I was doing it like on GarageBand on my phone and like just kind of developing them that way. And at some point I was like, this is just not the way to go. Like, this is frustrating. And so when I finally got like my speakers, interface, and everything, it was when I was watching YouTube videos that the guys would be like, okay, let's get into the video. And then they would like roll their intro track and it sounded like a mastered, like industry standard level track. And I'm like, dude, these motherfuckers are doing this shit at home.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, for me, I was like, okay, I need to learn how to do
Yeah.
this. And then that's where it really kicked off, where it wasn't about just writing anymore either.
Yeah.
It was about mixing and trying to get the songs to sound commercial or whatever.
Just sound professional,
Or
right?
sound professional, yeah.
It's like, all the new tech and stuff is putting like all these acclaimed local engineers and producers out of fucking business.
Yeah.
Because musicians can now just do it themselves, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's just the day and age we live in, man. Everybody wants to be a social media star too, right? It's crazy.
People are just adapting. You know what I mean? They're just evolving. So
I remember reading something, and I shared this with somebody. Like someone said, your generation, my generation, was the last generation that grew up without social media. Like, I remember when smartphones came out. Like that, we didn't used to have a smartphone. Yeah, our generation, and we didn't have smartphones, and we didn't have fucking social media. It's crazy.
And fucking pagers and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Public access TV. You wanted to watch a heavy metal video, you watched Rob's MetalWorks on public access TV.
That's right.
That's right.
But yeah, just to touch on the technology thing, like, it is pretty crazy because you can get a whole full stack guitar rig on your computer now.
Right. What do they call that? They call it? It's like a
plugins.
Yeah.
Amp Sims.
Everybody has like their own plugins now,
yeah,
right?
Signature artists. Have
Rob
plugins.
Flynn from Machine Head has his
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Most of them are pretty easy to use, but there is still a skill set to it. You have to know what you're looking for, and like, you can make good gear sound like shit, or you can make shitty gear sound good. Like, there is that talent that's still involved.
Not easy.
So, yeah, it's definitely not easy. Like, you can get a badass, great default tone as soon as you load it up. But making it that much better is what really makes the difference now.
Sure.
So knowing how to do that is what breaks the bank. Yeah.
What guitars y'all play? Because when I see y'all play, and when I saw the guitar playthrough, I couldn't really see the neck too closely, but I know you guys play seven-string Strats. Say that fast 3 times. What guitars do you play?
So my first 7-string was a Jackson. I think it's like a dinky body or something. But recently,
Which is the matted one that you play?
The black one?
Yeah.
So that, if you're familiar with Animals as Leaders, Tosin Abasi, he started his own guitar thing, and I fortunate enough to get one that was off a drop.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's what
it was his guitar?
It's from his company.
Oh,
It's called Abasi Guitars.
They
They make crazy, like, super high dollar custom guitars,
Sure.
but every once in a while they'll put like an affordable range.
Right.
It's affordable, right? So I got my hands on one, and that thing is a beast. That was like when I started getting into like Periphery and Animals as Leaders. I wanted to learn the 7-string stuff, so that's what I started on, and I graduated.
Okay.
I got into like 7 and 8 string guitars, like I think since 2010 or so. So I actually had like the first like Ibanez 8-string production model, RG 2228. But now these days I really like Agile guitars.
Agile?
Agile, yeah. They're
I like, I've always been a fan of guitars. I like guitars a lot. To me, they're like cars, to make some models. after we're done, I'm going to show you my new Jackson Rob Cavastani guitar. I got it ever since after you last visited. So
nice.
I don't know if I
think you showed me a different one.
I showed you the Dave Mustaine V, right?
Yeah.
No, this is another one.
Fancy.
I just got it not too long ago.
So for me, I play a black metal series LTD 7-string.
Okay.
The story behind that was I was in the market for a 7-string, and I was looking on Sweetwater, and I found the Schecter one, and it had like bat inlays on it. It's called like the Damien series or whatever. Yeah. And I was about to like buy that one, and then in the right side of the screen it said other guitars you might like. And LTD has always been like my favorite guitar brand, but they didn't have any 7s that I was interested in until I saw that one. And that one is just, it's all black everything. The body's black, the hardware
Is it matted black?
Matted black.
I like the matted
no
black.
Inlays, all black hardware. And I was like, that's literally me in a guitar, because I just wear all black all the time. And so I bought that guitar, and that's just what I've been using ever since.
Nice. Let's give Ella the mic now, because this next question is definitely for her. Ella, I know you write the lyrics for the band, and I remember, when I saw the artwork, and I know you did the artwork too, and the title, I was like, oh man, Into the Ether. So you kind of alluded to some of the kind of places that you're coming from when you talk about lyrics, but if there was a holistic theme for the EP based off the title, what would you kind of say that theme is?
I guess like self-awareness, just because when I started music, like, and seriously, I just thought, well, I want to do it for a reason. Like, even if it doesn't get shared to like millions of people, if somebody hears it, I want it to like do something for them. And I think like the thing that people need the most is self-awareness nowadays. People are just too distracted from like other things, and so that's my main goal with every song is like I try to talk about the most personal thing that I can, that a lot of people can't touch and get in touch with themselves. So it's just really just self-awareness, just learning more about yourself, because that's the only way things can get better in the world, is if you start with yourself first. And that's when big changes happen. So.
Sure. Yeah, that's great, because I think one of the things I want to say first of all, based upon what you said, is that we are info saturated, right? God, dude, like sometimes I'll look at Facebook for a little bit. Like when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, ya me cansé.
Yeah.
There's too much shit going on, bro. Right in our world, it's kind of crazy. And most of it's bad stuff, right? That we see.
Well, it's just that's what social media wants to market, is the bad stuff, because they've done like studies and stuff, and they did something where like they were just showing good things, and that's when people were on their phone less, when there was more good things that they were seeing. But when there's bad things, that's how people get more latched on to like scrolling, is because they want to see more bad happening.
More drama, right?
Yeah, more drama.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
just even like shock value stuff.
Just for clicks, right? Just for clicks. So
it's like we're only shown the bad stuff. There's actually a lot of good things that are happening, but we're just not being shown that part of the world.
I always like to see the videos where like fishermen, they pull out these turtles out of the ocean and they cut all the all the barnacles and the fish line. They're all cut in. And then they put the turtle back in the ocean. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. But yeah, or when they see like a shark kind of gets into the beach and he can't get back into the water, and they all come and help push the shark back in the water. Yeah, but we do live in scary, precarious times. The war that's happening in the Middle East is scary. And because it could, culminate into something bigger that could affect, all of us. It's a very weird time right now that we live in, and we hear about a lot of crazy shit happening, but think if you can find peace within yourself, and if music can help you do that, then mentally you're just a little bit better, right?
Mentally, you want to share that. Like, naturally, you want to share that around you.
Right.
So it's,
That's why we're doing this interview tonight.
Yeah, like just to tag on that, like any show I've ever been to, it's just everyone's there for one purpose. It's never like, oh, fuck this person because A, B, and C.
Sure.
It's like, no, dude, we're here to vibe, have a good time, and that's what it should always be about. And luckily at our shows, we've been able to see that people from all walks of life, even like really old people showed up. I remember like we did a show in Dallas and this old guy just hung around our merch table like all night, just like wanting to know what the band name. Yeah, I think so. He bought a shirt, I think, or a hat. But yeah, so it's like
better have.
But so yeah, like we like to see that stuff.
Like,
so.
dude, you can only hang it if you buy a shirt, bro. That's cool, man. The first single off the EP was Unspoken. Why did you guys choose that track? Because I like all the tracks.
It just immediately kicked off from 0 to 100
Sure.
right off the bat. It was really that simple. When we were talking about the order in the beginning, when we were discussing the order of the EP, first of all, like when I wrote Storm, or like me and Josh were working on Storm, like that one I've always felt like was going to be like the air quote like album starter. It had like a drawn out intro, and then it was going to kick off with the riff, and then like that was going to be the intro. But as we were listening, but as we were listening, it was just like, dude, Unspoken just has no bullshit in the beginning, and it just kicks right off.
Right.
And we just felt like that was the way to go.
I think that was a good choice. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, wow. Yeah, that, it's really weird because sometimes I interview bands and I'm like, why was this song the first single? This song's like way better. And the band says, oh, that's what the management chose. Yeah, it wasn't even up to the band. It was somebody outside of the band. But, yeah. Okay. You guys, again, this record is so cool. And I was so happy to see, like in recent weeks, that you guys are getting a lot of attention and acclaim on this record.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of press from webzines and magazines all around the world. And that's so important because the more people that know about your record, not only the more people that are listening to it and it's impacting their own lives, but the more relevant you become on the business side too. Mm-hmm. With promoters and people in the industry. So how does it kind of feel to be getting a lot of that, in those interview requests and the attention for this record?
It's interesting. It's fun. I mean, nonetheless, like I'm happy to talk about it.
You're like, I'm sick of this interview, man. Another interview.
We're done. I'm gonna no, but it feels
you better
good.
not be responding like with one sentence responses.
No, but
You're like, yeah. Oh, let me tell you a story. I'll tell you a story after off camera. Someone very famous did that to me, but he's known for that. His publicist even told me.
But it's an interesting learning experience too, just because they're expecting, or like let alone like there's a language barrier.
Sure,
there's an obvious language barrier, and they're trying to like ask us questions, and me and Ella are like reading it, and we're like, so I think this is like what he means, but let's
Use
just
the
do our
Google
best.
Translate app, bro.
But so yeah, we just answer as best as we can. We try to give as much details as we can, just because like
have most of them been like written?
Yeah, they've been like write-ups.
Right, write-ups, yeah.
A few like online interviews /
cool.
podcast style things.
Zooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
But either way, I mean, it's still a lot of fun.
I think it makes us think more about ourselves because there's certain questions that like you don't even think about. Yeah. You're just like, oh yeah, and you just try to like figure that out. So what's cool about interviews is when they ask good questions, you kind of learn more about yourself, I guess, because you're just trying to find out. Well, yeah, what is that?
All right. Yeah. So, what are some of the places that some of the countries that you've been getting some of this press from?
I want to say like France was one of them.
Wow.
Belgium, I think, was another one. It was like easily like the language barrier. We were like, okay, we don't really know how to respond, but we're just gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, let them figure it out.
A lot of it here in the U.S. as well.
Good.
That one guy that made a bootleg shirt.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay,
He's like in Germany or something.
I think so. Oh no, I think he's like Spain.
They made a bootleg
Dude,
shirt?
okay, so no. This is what happened. So this guy is a fan of us, like over in
I would have
Spain.
said, dude, that's fine. Just send me one. Or send me one for every member of the band.
Before we even released online merch, he sends us a picture and tags us. And he met Lena Scissorhands from Infected Rain. And he's wearing our shirt in the picture. With her. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's fucking, like, awesome. Like, that's crazy, but, like, awesome. Like, he just, like, he took it upon himself to make his own shirt of us and wore it to an Infected Rain shirt.
That's free promotion, bro.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome because he was like, look, like I made this shirt, you know, y'all's shirt, whatever, because y'all don't have any merch, but I wanted to show Infected Rain about, you know, I wanted to show them about you guys and all that. And we were just like, wow, that's freaking crazy. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. So
he's a real fan.
Right. And it's just like, unfortunately, like until one day we can get over there and like play shows and whatever, it's like we just got to like keep doing what we're doing because that can, you know, snowball into different things in different countries. And
you never know.
Exactly.
You never know, man. That is the whole purpose of it. You know, it's to have a publicist, of which we've been remiss to mention. Scott at Clawhammer PR, right?
Shout out. Mega shout out.
Mega shout out, who has done a fabulous job in utilizing his network to get the name Massive AMARA out to many people in media to listen to through the ether and thereafter kind of promote it. That's great, man. And I hope that continues for you. And hopefully, somebody who owns a record label is going to say, these fuckers are pretty cool. Let me offer them a record deal. Would you guys love to tour Europe?
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Come on. Are you
on.
sure?
Absolutely, man.
You're going to tell your job, I'm going to be gone for 3 weeks. I'll see you when I see you.
I wouldn't even think about it, bro. Just sorry. I'm out.
I'm out. Wow, that's cool.
Come on.
All right.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, there's, it's kind of cool because I think one of the great things about your band is that you guys are young cats, and you're like, you have the flexibility to do that in your lives, you don't have little kids running around that, or obligations here at home that might prevent you from doing that. I've seen some of those things, sometimes prevent bands from opportunities or tear bands apart, because they're torn between family obligations or work obligations and financial obligations and going out there and living the dream. So I say while you're young and have that flexibility, fucking go for it. Let's talk about social media real quick. I've talked about social media with you guys before. And I know that you guys have a stronger presence on Instagram. Is Facebook kind of like the old man's fucking platform? Because if it is, tell Julian Cruz.
I think.
Come on, Julian. He's on Facebook, bro.
He's on it right now. 100%.
Exactly.
No.
I've seen your Facebook, and I noticed because you don't have a lot of followers on Facebook, you don't post as much on Facebook. But on Instagram, you're more active on Instagram, and on Instagram, you guys have like 2,000 followers. So, and then, I know it's a veteran that, that Facebook is kind of like the old cat's platform, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't really know. I fucking hate using it, so that's probably the short answer.
Yeah. But it's still so vital.
Right. And that's why we at least started with like creating it, and we are trying to get better at trying to use it a bit more. But Instagram, I feel like, is where most of our demographic is at.
Sure.
But also, like, we should be on it a bit more just because
Sure.
the demographic could obviously include everybody else.
Sure. I'll just share with you quickly. One of the deep conversations that I had with the guys from Kingdom Collapse, who I interviewed at the end of August about social media. I talked to them about that. And those guys are like really good on social media, like on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
They just fucking work it, bro. Like so hard. And just to keep it short, it has served them well. Really well in the number of followers that they have, in the number of people that are downloading and buying their music and watching their videos. It just has served them well, but they know how to work it. Mm-hmm. And again, I'll stress to you guys, that is something that, I would love to see you guys get better at. I think it would serve you well, especially because you have a good product.
Yeah.
You have something good to share with the people.
Yeah.
It's one thing the fucking market, oh my God, I think I'm in my business class. Sorry if I'm going off on a tangent. I teach this at school. But, the marketing people, when you're marketing your stuff, it's more difficult. If you're really good at marketing, you can sell a shitty product. Mm-hmm. But it's easier to market if you have a good product. And you guys have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, social media is a beast of its own. I think where we're at right now is trying to find how we can get across like the look and the vibe of what we're going for on social media and like attract a similar audience without coming off as like a meme. Because like I feel like that's been a big thing on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever. A lot of people get views because they're like a meme.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And like that's great. Views are views, but like we're trying to avoid that. You know what I mean? We want to come off as boom. Like I saw a video the other day, Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel, he was talking about like just the internet and like how it's made everyone soft in a way. And he's like, people aren't as hardcore as they used to be, and because of that like meme culture, it makes everything a joke. And like I feel like that's something we're like still trying to evolve on, and like there's a fine line between getting views because you're a meme and you have humor and you're funny, or getting views because you're serious and you're badass and like, you know what I mean?
Such a good fucking point, Josh. Thanks so much for sharing that. I didn't even think about that. But yet, tomorrow, I would have thought about it. So why did I talk about that in the But that is so true, bro. I know I see bands, like local bands in our SA scene, they post stupid shit. Like themselves in a wig and they're fucking talking stupid shit and, on their band page.
Right.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I remember
just trying to get views or clicks or whatever, and what it does is it fucking dilutes the validity of their band and their music.
It doesn't come off genuine either. Like that's the thing. Like when we brainstorm about what we want to do, like social media wise, it's just like it should just be real and genuine. So we have brainstorming sessions where we think about like what can we post and like what should we post and stuff, but also like everybody puts in a lot of time and work into this. So like we like joking around and having fun, but like also at the same time, it's like when we present ourselves to the world, it's like we're here to like have fun, and like we take our art pretty serious. So if there's a way to like do both without coming off, like Josh was saying, like meme-esque, and like doing those videos where it's like, guess who our drummer is, and like Ella's on the drums fucking doing this shit, and then
Look
it's
at
like
Josh in a bikini.
Yeah, it's like right. And so we just like being real, you know. And
the thing, like the real content would be like the recording process, or fucking bloopers of the recording process,
right,
or a tour video, or that's real legit content. And I'm very cognizant of that, even with Rob's. Like I don't post stupid shit. Mm-hmm. Everything I post has to do with our history or what we're gonna do, or something that I'm a fan of that I just want to promote. Like the other day, I put a video of me sitting down talking about what I was going to do in October, and I hardly ever do that. And when I did it, it got like 1,500 views in a day. And it's because people like saying, oh, like Rob did a video just talking, and he never does that. I'm going to watch it. Because too, like you can oversaturate yourself in the feed, and you don't want to do that.
Right.
If you're going to put something in your feed, make it legit and important, and have real content.
That's what we talk about all the time, especially like it's like how we come off as a uniform and in person and live, and it's like we want the same vibe on our socials.
Yeah. Don't show Joseph passed out on a fucking
exactly.
He drank too much Jack and shit. So funny. Or his drummer's passed out. Here's a picture. All right, guys. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes, again, I cannot stress. It's just the day and age that we live in that social media is so relevant, whether we like it or not. I remember the Kingdom Collapse guy says that they don't really like it, but it's just, Rob, it's just part of the business now.
Yep.
Yeah. It's part of the fucking business.
There's a lot of other things too that not even just social media, but like you have to be able to have the ability to like wear many hats to be in a band nowadays.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think going off of that now, it's like the industry or whatever you want to call it, like the line between like artist and like influencer is very blurry now. It's like so much so that even like the word content has like
you have to be a content creator.
Has like a weird kind of aura to it, and like I think right now we're still kind of building up our circle of like artists and like photographers, and like we just found a video guy recently that's been like really helping us.
Shout out Jared.
Yeah.
For quality too.
And so just building up that circle of other artists that can help us kind of realize like the authentic vision.
If you have fans who are photographers or videographers or whatever, and they want to help, let them, by all means. Yeah. We'll get you into the show. Yeah. You want to hang out with us? Come hang out with us, but you're going to work, video, take photos, and then we'll decide what to do with the content. Yeah, but at least you have it, you have the content to, I feel like I love Throwback Thursdays and Flashback Fridays because I got fucking 29 years of content to fucking flashback on. Jeez. Right? Very easy for me. I could just go through some of my old disc drives and say, oh, look at this picture from 2008 with fucking so-and-so from, so-and-so. I'll post it. It's great. I love it. It's easy for me. But that's real content, though, for people. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's talk about fucking shows now. Oh, man. I first saw your show in June 15th at the Julian Cruz show with Spit on Your Grave. I was there. Ella walked right past me. She didn't even say hi or nothing. Going to the restroom. I was like, should I like this band? Just kidding, Ella. You probably had to go to the restroom. You're walking fast. Your first show was at the end of 2023? Is that right?
Yes.
December,
yeah, the end of 2023. So it hasn't even been a year. Okay, so it was this lineup for the first show?
Yep.
How did it go? Where was that first show at?
Tonic. Josh.
Tonic?
Yeah.
Where at? Where was Tonic?
Tonic, now called Fuel Bar, off of Babcock and Eckert.
That's just right around here, right? Babcock and Eckert.
Yeah.
I know that bar.
Yeah. It's been around.
It's got like
wow.
Square glass window.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the
Has
spot.
like a little stage, right? It's about
a little
6
corner
inches
stage.
off the ground.
Yep. That's the
Yeah.
spot.
I've been there. I used to have a friend. His name was Frazier. That was his bar, and every time he would say, "Rob, let's hang out." I was like, "Yeah, meet me at Tonic." I'm like, "All right."
Yep.
That was his place, and we would go there and hang out. Yeah. Were there metalheads there?
Yeah.
Or like the regulars?
So a combination of both. So I'm in a couple of cover bands around town, and we were putting a bill together there at the spot.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, Josh, you want to get another one of your bands on the bill?" And I've been jamming with massive.
Really like you, Josh.
I don't know about that, but
Like we've never heard your other band, Josh. But you want a gig?
yeah.
Come on.
I was like, "Hey, I just started in this new original band. Like, we'll do it for free or play for the door or whatever.
What?
We're rehearsing right now. We're trying to get our live set together. This will
Yeah.
be great for us, and you need
Yeah.
another band on the show." So we did it, and it's been a work in progress ever since.
Nice. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have wanted to see that first show.
It was interesting. We were learning a lot. Yeah, it was trial and error.
I love, because I shot your show, and guys, believe it or not, I watch my video, especially live video. I'll watch it over and over again, especially when I released my video on you guys that I did recently. As I edit it, I have to watch it over and over. So I'm meticulously watching, like, what Victor and Josh are doing and how they play and come back and forth, and how Victor will come over here and then you'll come over here, and how Ella will go back and then come back to the front. So it does take some time to kind of work out the logistics of performing live and getting used to playing live, especially with 4 people on the forefront, right?
Yep.
But I think now you guys are doing it well, but I think that it will get better.
Of course, yeah.
It will get better. It can get better.
We learn something new every show we play.
Yeah?
Yeah. We learn, like, where to step, where not to step.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm feeling a groove a different way on this song now, but then in a month I'm like, oh, I feel it different, and then I can pocket a little bit better and, like, not die and trip on stage or something. But I think just the more we do it, the more it's going to come natural.
Sure.
In the very beginning, it was the first time we've ever performed, with, like you said, 4 people up front on a tiny ass stage, never playing the songs really like how we would play it live. So it was just like, it was still fun though.
Yeah. And hasn't even been a year.
No.
I want to see you guys like 5 years from now, see how it is. How you guys are throwing down.
It still is. It doesn't feel like it's been not that long of a time.
So much has happened in just less than a year. It's insane. It feels like it's been way longer.
That's good though.
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah.
It's a good problem to have, to kind of feel like, I'm overwhelmed because we're progressing, but that's a good problem to have, right? Yeah, and I think we talked about that last time you were here. That there has to be a little bit of coordination, and I know that you guys kind of talk about it, like, on this part, let's do this, right, or, and stuff like that. So yeah, a little bit more of that. I want to see, I'm just gonna say this as a fan. I always love when I see bands go up and throw down, and they're fucking sweating balls. Okay.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's Victor right there.
Yeah. And Victor, do you ever tell the other dudes in the band, like, dude, why aren't you fucking sweating? We're not fucking running a marathon, bro. This is a fucking sprint. We got 30 fucking minutes. Like, I know Joseph's sweating. Yeah, everybody should be sweating balls. Like, fucking go all out and fucking, like, you're fucking working out, man. Like, headbang, fucking more. Even if your fucking monitor's falling out of your ear, fucking throw it down. And people see that, and people love that. People don't want to see lazy fucking performances, okay? Go out there and fucking throw it down. And if your beautiful hair doesn't look that great, it's okay. It's okay. So you guys have played the Rio Grande Valley, Corpus Christi, San Antonio. You've played all over Texas. What is where do you kind of feel that people, or where do you kind of feel that you love to play in Texas?
I feel like, unfortunately, rest in peace, Bonds, but anytime we've played there, it's just been like, it's just popped off.
San Antonio here in Bonds.
Yeah. We've played shows in different areas, and they've thrown down, but like anytime we got a Bond show, like it's just been like the best turnout. Like it's just been like the most energy. I will say McAllen also fucking throws down. Like we played in McAllen, and that was one of the gigs where we were like, oh shit, like these people know how to fucking let loose, and that was a lot of fun.
If you asked me, if I was your manager, I would say let's fucking cultivate San Antonio, and let's cultivate the Valley. Fuck Houston. Fuck Dallas. Fuck Dallas. And, you know, cultivate Houston. I mean, cultivate the Valley, San Antonio, and Corpus. Even Corpus. Corpus would be last, though. But San Antonio and the Rio Grande Valley, that is where I would say, you know, to start. You know, I'm not saying don't ever play Houston. I'm just saying don't start with Houston. Like, fucking let your rep precede you by the time you go to Houston.
Yeah.
Okay? But cultivate it in San Antonio and in the Valley. Because the thing about the fans in the Valley is that they, you know, they're loyal fans. Like if they go to your show and they like you, next time you go, they're gonna be there.
Yep.
The same fucking people will be there to watch you, and they're gonna bring their fucking primos with them. You know, and it's gonna be bigger and better.
It was weird for me because like they were like giving us like I joke about it like the rock star treatment. I like went outside. Sure. I went outside to put the gear in the car, and I'm coming back in, and they were like, "Dude, I got the door for you." And I'm like, "Bro, you don't got to do that, man. Like I could open the door." But like, yeah, it's
just like Josh and smoke some weed.
But yeah, no, we had a blast, and we do have plans to go back.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Great, man. I'm glad. Cultivate those regions, and then what will happen is because what happens with the reason I say fuck Dallas and Houston is because those cities are so big, like you cannot go there as an unknown band and expect anything but the worst treatment. Okay, if you go there as a cultivated, known, respected band, then you're going to get the respect from the promoters and the people in the scene who work that scene. Okay, but if you go there as an unknown, then it's horrible. Okay, you're not going to be treated well, and I know that for a fact. Okay, would you guys like to tour out of Texas?
100%, absolutely.
Where would you go? I know Joseph said like the whole Colorado fucking.
We were talking about that.
Right. Where did you say, Joseph? What was it?
We were talking about like getting to Colorado, Vegas, and then California, and then back down.
Yeah. You just want to go to Colorado and smoke some of that weed. Yeah. I don't like that strong weed.
All legal towns.
Yeah.
Legal states only
tour.
Yeah,
but that's cool. I mean, again, like, you know, I think that's cool when I heard you say that downstairs, just because there has to be kind of a plan, you know. You can't just like go out there, you know. Let's just take over this little part and let them know us, and then, you know, if all goes well, then we can expand.
Yeah, like what we've seen where like headlining bands will put together their own tour, and then like they'll come through our city, and then we're opening up for them or whatever. And then by the end of the night, I mean, nobody's there. And it's just like they're spending all this money to be on tour. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know if that's really the way to do it. Because like they're spending all this money for not a good turnout, let alone merch sales or anything. That's just my opinion from what I've seen. But so I feel like we just have to like branch out city by city, grow a bit there, and then hopefully just like keep branching out. Maybe one city goes into, you know, up north, out of state, and then add that to the route or something.
But also just make friends with other local bands there, because
sure,
you know, it's better when you have a band that's, you know, more popular in that city. They headline and you can like
sure,
you know, co-headline.
Sure.
That's just where it works out a lot better.
Sure. All right. I'd love to see you guys branch out. I mean, I love San Antonio, but you know, I think there comes a point for good bands in our city that they have to graduate from San Antonio, right? And move on. And, you know, there's some bands They're afraid to do that. They don't want to leave San Antonio. They're popular here. A lot of people come to the shows here, and they're content. And I remember when I first met with you guys, the first thing I said is like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your band? Where do you want to be? And the bands who want to, supersede like this local little popularity, which is all good, but in order to achieve, like Ella said, I remember her saying, I want to be a national band. I want to be a worldwide band. I want to tour everywhere. Then in order to achieve that, you have to take the risks to play new markets where nobody will know you, right? But again, there has to be a strategic plan in place to make that happen, and it happens gradually. Okay? So you're in year one. Okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah, there's bands that are doing that now, like bands we look up to, but they started where we're at, and they weren't doing that. But it's like the other thing though is just staying committed and persistent. Because like for instance, like Periphery, like back in the day, they were so niche. Like they were obviously their music's extreme and like very progressive and just crazy. But they're at a point now where they can put together their own tour and go out nationally. For sure. But like 15 years ago or however old the band is, it's like they weren't doing that. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. How long did it take them to get to that level?
Exactly. And it's like if I'm okay with that. Like if it takes time, it's just gonna take time. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be overnight. I'm okay with that. Yeah. But that's just the dedication and the time. Like you have to be willing to put in that time and stick it out long. And I that doesn't bother me at all.
It's all about learning and growing. That's what it's all about.
Okay. Yup. Let's talk about videos. I talked about the video for Army of Me, Rebirth, and Unspoken. Will there be any more videos?
Yep, we got one currently in the works.
It's been in the works. But we do have something up our sleeve. Okay.
And then moving forward, nothing new really after that until we get some new material more solidified. And
can you say what song the video would be for?
Sure. Or no. She looked at me a certain way. Hold on, maybe not.
Never mind. I'm talking about something we've been working on. Yeah, it's for, I guess, for Ascended.
Okay.
For Ascended.
Yeah, for Ascended.
All right. Cool. You guys, does that mean obviously you guys feel that video work is still important to what bands do?
I think so. Yeah, because in a way, like you need a commercial, right? Like you need a way to promote the songs. Like some bands just do lyric videos or just like, hey, I've seen bands be like, hey, our EP and our songs are out, go listen to it. And they'll like send me a DM, go listen to it. And it's like, I don't want to like just listen and just stare at this picture. It's like we also consume with our eyes too.
Sure.
So pair a sick song with a sick video, and that's how you can make a fan instantly or not.
For sure.
So I definitely think videos are still very much important.
I would say they're more important than ever.
Exactly.
More important than ever.
I've seen some Instagram influencers be all like, no, you don't need a video. You just got to be like over the top really good. I'm like, shut up. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, just to add to that, like there's a lot of bands I've discovered just because I saw a cool thumbnail on YouTube. Or because it like auto played after something else that I was looking at. So yeah, definitely needs the visual element.
Plus, they can be inspiring.
Can you say when the new video might come out? Or when you would like it out?
Probably by the end of the month.
Really? Oh wow! All right.
But yeah, no. I mean, I also think videos can be inspiring too. Like I'll be fully transparent. Like Josh reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, did you see the new Whitechapel video yet?" I was like, "No." And then I went and checked it out, and they're like in a fucking cave, like just jamming. I'm like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Josh is like, "Why can't we be in a cave?"
I'm like, "Bro, how do we do something on that level?" And
just get a green screen, bro.
But yeah, no, like it always, when it comes to like videos or just like a band that inspires, it's like it always pushes you to like try something new and like maybe encourages you to try something different on a much cooler level or as cool level.
Sure.
You know, shout out Gojira for being on the fucking side of a goddamn castle.
Wow.
But
Come
some
on,
shit
it's
like
all green
that.
Screen, bro. It's all fake.
It's all
It's
green
not real. Preston thinks it's
We
real.
see you, Joe.
I want to go to that castle.
We see you, Joe.
Yeah.
That harness ain't harness to shit.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. I can't wait to see the new video. You know, I'll share it on our platform when it comes out. I can't wait for you guys to drop new music, and hopefully you'll send me some new music.
I can show you a sneak peek after this.
All right, we're gonna go downstairs and play it on the Marshall. And
what about this sound system?
Oh, okay. Well, maybe.
Come on now. This sound. They haven't even heard this sound system yet.
Can Joseph and I smoke weed?
Sure.
I'm sure it'll sound better. So happy to have you guys here. And before we end out, we've been talking for quite some time, but I think we covered all the bases, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I missed? Anything that you want to discuss?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Pretty much everything from the beginning to current seems pretty well covered right now.
Well covered, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can tell by my little Zoom camera here that we've been talking over an hour. But it's a beautiful thing because I think this record deserves and this band deserves the details that so many people will see around the world. So as we end out, before we close out, I want to give everyone in the band an opportunity to say any thank yous, to share any love to anybody in their lives, for getting them here musically or in life in general, because I think those things are important. So, Preston, we'll end out with you. Let's start off with Josh over here, and then we'll go like this.
I'll just say life isn't easy. You got to work hard for shit that you want. We're all willing to sacrifice for the band, so we're pushing. One shout out I really want to give is to Bonds Rock Bar. I've been playing there going on maybe 10 years now. I started playing when I was like 16 there.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been a crazy journey. They've helped me a lot. Helped me get out there, meet a great community of people like y'all selves. And yeah, couldn't be here without support from my friends, my family, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, grateful.
Yeah, definitely, friends and family. For me, I feel very fortunate, grateful just to, all these guys, because for me, I feel very much like I was kind of just at the right place, the right time. I moved back here just coincidentally, ran into Preston, met him, and did all that. So, lots of gratitude for that. And, yeah, just be kind.
All right.
Just general advice to the world.
Thanks to friends, family, anybody that's come out to support us and to actually catch us live, buy merch, and help us keep the wheels turning. Also, any videographer, photographer, Aaron, Jared, Ruben, that's helped us put together content and push out our vision. And just make it look crisp and clean. Also, touching on what Victor said, it feels great to be surrounded by such a great support system. The band feels great to be on the same page and to trust each other and trust each other's judgments and just being surrounded by smart individuals. Yeah, thank you guys. It's been a great ride so far, and I can't wait to see what the future has in hold.
They haven't told you that there's shows during your trip to Europe, right? Yeah. You can't go, bro.
I'm zooming it.
Yeah, no, thank you to everybody that is willing to support us when this is just so new, and I'm grateful for everybody in this band and for Preston, like a lot, because it's kind of scary, like doing something that you really love. You have a certain respect for it. And so, like, I'm new to all of this. And, like, the fact that there's so many people already supporting this is just, it's just very amazing.
It's a blessing.
And it's a huge blessing. And like, it's those things, it's you, it's everybody here. Like, it's the reason that keeps you going. You just want to keep going because, if you have already this many people believing in you, you can't wait to see like what else you want, what you can do. So just thankful for everybody that has come out, everybody that has supported us, that has bought a shirt, that has commented, followed us, anything that has put some sort of effort to show support. Like, thank you so much. And like I said, everybody in this band, thank you for being in the band and for like putting in your time and effort, to be here. So, yeah.
So does that mean like when you guys get big and y'all are playing like big shows like Aztec Theater, that I'm gonna get like backstage passes and stuff?
100%. 100%.
Better. Huh? Hey, you better put a picture of that this guy can do whatever he wants.
Well, I'll wear a shirt with your head on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off of everybody,
I got it
like
on video, bro.
I'm thankful for everyone in my life who's supported me, my family, my friends, my bandmates for trusting me, because I'm sure there's sometimes I annoy the fuck out of them with my nitpickiness or whatever. But also just a mega shout out to the people who support us, our fans who, like Ella was saying, come out, check us out, buy shirts. I mean, like, tell us that, our music is cool, because like sometimes I don't feel like it's that cool, but it's just awesome to see that other people enjoy it too. And I want to give another shout out to my manager at work, because she works with me on my schedule for my band.
Oh, that's
that
cool.
is huge.
Yeah,
like, I cannot stress like how huge that is, because having to work around a job in a band is one of the hardest things to do when being in a band. And the fact that she's cool to like, hey, you got shows coming up, like, what can I do to like make sure they don't conflict?
Because
So
you still got bills to pay.
exactly. So
Yeah,
shout out
yeah.
my manager Mo. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say, you
she's
should
super
say her
sick.
name.
But
Yeah. Oh God.
100%.
Come on.
But my bandmates too. I mean, we couldn't have done any of this without you guys. Like, it could have gone the other way, where it's still just me and Ella. Like, because I at one point I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do. We have songs. Like, are we just gonna be fucking playing live with backtracks, just us two? Like,
Yeah, it's like, go to sleep. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. So
You're gonna be okay. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for coming. Okay. We're still gonna hang, right?
absolutely.
All
Thanks
right,
for having
all
us, man.
Such a great interview. So much information that all the people out there got on the band and through the ether. And I just wanna. I know it took. You guys are like a fucking onion. It took me a little while to peel some layers back, but I think I really got to the heart of who you are tonight. And, as we continue to work together in 25, when your new record comes out and beyond, we will dig deeper and deeper personally. So, and remember, guys, like I told you before, how I've told Ella and Preston, this whole thing about music, and especially in the underground metal scene in San Antonio, it's all about relationships. Even when you get big, it's about relationships, right? So, I value and care about my relationship with you guys, because I'm a fan, as I've shared so many times.
Us too,
already.
man. Us too. We're
Oh,
grateful.
thank you. And my time is coming to an end soon, so I appreciate that even more. Remember, everybody out there, the brand new EP from the band is already out. It's called Through the Ether. Be sure to look for it on all your music video outlets and download it tonight after you watch this interview and fucking jam it like we do. It is the best in Texas metal. You saw the band Mass of AMARA only right here on Rob's.